Hello and welcome back. This is section 9.2 and today we're talking special right triangles. So with special right triangles there's kind of two varieties that we're looking at here. We have the 45, 45, 90, which are talking about the angles in our triangle. And we have our 30, 60, 90. And those have some special properties, so let's get started here. With our 45, 45, 90, we know that this would be an isosceles triangle because our two angles are the same. And remember when we're talking about isosceles triangles, our legs, we called these our legs, were also the same. So I'm going to mark each of these with an X. Now when we have an isosceles triangle that is a right triangle, the hypotenuse, or the base is what we used to call it, is going to be x square root 2. So our legs are x. And our hypotenuse is x square root 2. So let's do some examples here. So this one's pretty straightforward. So leg and our leg. So x is also 8. And then our y is going to be 8 square root 2. Again, another pretty straightforward example here. Our leg and our leg. So our y this time is going to be 25. And our hypotenuse is going to be our leg, which is 25, and then square root 2. All right, this one's going to get a little bit tricky here. Okay, so when we went from leg to hypotenuse, we multiplied by the square root of 2. When we're going backwards, we have to now divide by the square root of 2. So leg to hypotenuse, we multiplied. Going backwards, we have to divide. So I'm going to take 19, and I'm going to divide that by the square root of 2. Now this is where those whole radical rationalizing things came in. Okay, so I can't have the square root on bottom. So I'm going to multiply the top and bottom by the square root of 2. All right, and then when I do that, I'm going to get 19 square root of 2 on top over square root of 2 times the square root of 2 is the square root of 4, which we can simplify down to be 2. 19 over 2 cannot be reduced, and that's going to be our leg for both. So 19 square root of 2 over 2, 19 square root of 2 over 2. Now let's look at the shorter leg here. Okay, our shorter leg is going to be the one that is always opposite of our 30-degree angle. So shorter leg. Here we have our longer leg and our hypotenuse. Okay, so our shorter leg is going to have the extreme characteristic of x. I know, we're getting crazy here. Okay, our long leg is going to be our shorter leg times the square root of 3, because this one has 3 different sides, where our other one had 2 different sides. And our hypotenuse gets to be the fun 2x. All right, let's get started here. First thing I always do when doing some examples is label which one's my shorter, longer, and hypotenuse. So this one I know is my hypotenuse because that's opposite of my 90. Here's my 30-degree angle, which means that one is my shorter side and this one is my longer side. Okay, so shorter to longer, I'm going to multiply by the square root of 3. So x gets to be 5 square root of 3. And then going from short side to hypotenuse, I'm going to multiply by 2. So this one gets to be 10. Again, labeling short side, long side, and hypotenuse. So again, here we've got our short side. So our short side, or our long side, going from our short side is just 14 square root of 3. And then I'm going to double that to get to my hypotenuse. So 14 times 2 is 28. Looking at 6 here again, short side, long side, hypotenuse. The idea is that you want to get back to your hypotenuse, or short side, sorry. So here's my hypotenuse. To get from hypotenuse to short side, I'm going to divide by 2. Going from short side to long side, short side to hypotenuse, we multiplied by 2. Going backwards, we're dividing by 2. So 32 divided by 2 is going to give me 16 for my short side. Now for my y, we're going to take that short side and we're going to multiply by the square root of 3. Again, long side, short side, hypotenuse here. So hypotenuse back to short side, I'm going to divide by 2. So that's going to give me 23 for y. And then I'm going to take that 23 and multiply by the square root of 3. For 8 here, I'm going to again identify long side, short side, and hypotenuse. This time I'm starting with my long side. So again, long side, let's go back. Short side to long side, I multiplied by the square root of 3. So going backwards, I'm now going to divide by the square root of 3. So I have 20 divided by the square root of 3, like we've talked about. Can't have that on the bottom. So I'm going to multiply by the square root of 3 on top and bottom. So that is going to get me 20 square root of 3 over 3. Okay, and then I'm going to take that and double it. That'll get me to my long side. So I'm just going to take my top number and multiply by 2. So that'll give me 40 square root of 3 over 3. Okay, let's try one more crazy one here. Okay, so that is 9 square root of 3. Let me write that a little bit nicer there. Okay, so again, short side, long side, hypotenuse. This time it's a little bit nicer. Right now my long side is 9 square root of 3, and I have to divide that by the square root of 3. Those two square roots are going to cancel, leaving me with my short side of just 9. Again, taking that 9 and doubling it, that gets me to 18. All right, here's some extra practice. Now, if you would like some extra practice, I will put this answer page up on Canvas. So if you'd like to give it a shot, you are more than welcome to. And then please do the items listed above.